This is the horrible truth behind the lies of Operation Enduring Victory. My lies. Lies designed to inspire millions of innocents to sacrifice themselves in battle. Why? One reason: to buy time for you and the work you will do here. Welcome to Legends, a series that delves into the lore within Horizon Zero Dawn, a world with an abundance of powerful and moving history begging to be explored. Today, we go back to a time before the rebirth of the world and the creation of Gaia, a period of less than 3 years that would come to decide if life on Earth would endure or forever be lost to the ages. As small of a time as that would seem in the scope of human history, the ultimate price was paid for each and every second. This effort would be named Operation Enduring Victory. While Dr. Elizabeth Sobeck and her team set to work to ensure life's second chance, Project Zero Dawn was not the only operation in motion to see this dream fulfilled. Drafted by General Aaron Harris, chairman of the United States Joint Chiefs of Staff, he authorized Operation Enduring Victory to stall the advance of the unstoppable Pharaoh Plague, buying Project Zero Dawn as much time as possible to be completed. To inspire courage and hope, General Harris began a covert propaganda campaign that leaked the existence of Project Zero Dawn, but as a superweapon that would save humanity, keeping its true objective hidden from the masses. With this banner of salvation behind them, all of humanity became enlisted in the fight for their own survival. On November 3rd, 2064, the last war of our time began. Accounts would indicate that the swarm first hit the Eastern Hemisphere, as the Pharaoh Plague swept through Europe before moving west. The mechanical horde crossed the Atlantic, meeting the first wave of resistance at the Battle of the Eastern Seaboard Wall. Both career military and militia-style Minutemen fought tooth and nail to stave off the machines, but were eventually pushed further inland. On the other side of the country, after the fall of Enduring Victory efforts across Asia, the swarm crossed the Pacific, fueling themselves with all organic matter within the ocean until they reached the coast of California. To stall the advance, Minutemen and the 15th Military Response Brigade had filled the coast with flammable waste, and when the machines arrived, they set the sea ablaze. Witnesses state that the first wave of bots that came ashore were covered in burning sewage and were held back for a time. 3 battles of the California Marines saw human forces cutting down the robotic invaders, until the swarm recalculated their tactics and forced the defenders further inland, into the cities where they proceeded to use electromagnetic pulses and collapse entire buildings atop the Pharaoh swarm to hold their lines, but they too would be pushed back. Even with the victories that human forces did achieve, even downing a BOR-7 Horus at Lithium Beach, the swarm continued closing in from all sides, and hope began to fade. To counter this, the propaganda machine continued to turn, as all outgoing correspondents from the front lines were edited and revised to paint a more hopeful and inspired picture to civilians and potential enlistees. This because every last soul able to take up arms was needed to stall the inevitable, to keep the hopes of Zero Dawn alive. As humanity's forces dwindled, what remained of our resistance was deployed to protect facilities mission critical to Zero Dawn. The last stand of humanity would take place in late 2066 in Wichita, Kansas, the last military salient of the human resistance. As 5 Horus-class Titans broke through the final defenses, these brave men and women fought until their last breath to buy time for Zero Dawn. Going down in a blaze of gunfire and steel, these warriors were the last of Operation Enduring Victory. And with that, the war to truly end all wars was over. And as it was known all along, the machines had won. Names like Captain Akilo, Corporal Acosta, Corporal Mills, Sergeant Guliev, Lieutenant Morel, and Sergeant Wandari would all be lost to history, heroes of a long-forgotten war that they never truly understood. The death toll would number in the billions, civilian and military alike, for this enemy made no such distinction. We were, as everything else, only fuel for the monsters of our own creation. Every second that Operation Enduring Victory salvaged from this slaughter would be needed. As Project Zero Dawn was completed and locked down, only 36 hours after the last remnants of humanity's forces were defeated. If the defenses had failed any sooner, all the work of those involved in Zero Dawn and all those who gave their lives to fight back against the mechanical plague would have been in vain. General Harris, a man who considered himself the worst war criminal in human history, chose not to go to the safety of Elysium with the other Zero Dawn personnel, but stay in US Robotics Command to meet his end at the hands of the Swarm, like all those who he had sent before him. Though he never truly forgave himself for the insurmountable cost of enduring victory, without his strategy and leadership, Project Zero Dawn, and the only hope of a second chance it carried with it, like everything else, would have perished. And with that, our journey comes to an end. If you'd like to see more content like this, likes and shares are always appreciated. And if you really like our stuff, subscribe away. Do you have a great idea for our next episode of Legends? Let us know in the comments down below. And until next time, thanks for watching and keep questing.